absolutely insane from both sides. The Bangkok Titans coming up huge in the late game with their AD carry Lloyd. We talked about G4. He's supposed to be the big player. Don't get me wrong, he had a great game, but Lloyd, the AD carry, the true star of that game.
Look, there was a lot of questionable decisions from G4 in particular, the way the team worked with strategy base around split pushing. But Lloyd, as you said, he's meant to be the secondary carry of the team. He's stepped up to the plate in this game too, in a game that honestly, they didn't look like winning. It was always so even. The Chiefs, they pulled it back. They just farmed better, honestly. Bangkok Titans, they just stayed up in farm.
Yeah, it really did. And you can see the comps. Really wacky stuff from both sides. Very different. Nice to see the teams still keeping things fresh here. And this pick here from Warlock. What is this, Mundo?
So it's a super tanky champion. The reason that people pick Mundo, generally speaking, is because you go one type of resistance. So say you're against a Rumble top and an AP mage mid, usually stack magic resistance. Now, the big question mark is, he's not against that. So why would you go for the Mundo? And the answer is that it just works with his team comp. He's got a Sivir, and all they want to do is be in front of this low-range carry. So they pick someone that is quite literally, as Spawn said, a meat shield who just stands in the dead front and just absorbs damage. And that's what he did. He did it super well because Tristana, Raider, could never take anybody down, and Lloyd was wrecking everyone in front of him.
Yeah, huge front line, lots of protection. I mean, look on the other side there for the Chiefs. Control mage Tristana, you have the front line, you've got the Olaf for a bit of extra damage and anti-carry. You can see what they were trying to do there, but it's not what we've seen, honestly, from the Chiefs. Bangkok Titans taking a very, honestly, Chiefs-esque comp from the last few days. Big front line, big carries, and the Chiefs are trying to run something that's just, again, Swiper not being on a tank. I do like Swiper on carries, but it's just not looked the same at least the first two games.
Granted, the Olaf is a carry slash tank in one, so he's doing a lot of damage, but he's also just running at the backline. So the difference between the tanks is the Mundo kind of zone controls an area that is in front of the Sivir, whereas the Olaf just goes at your backline, tries to kill them. So he's not tanking for anything, he's just running through them to try and push away Lloyd on this Sivir. But Lloyd did too much damage.
Certainly did. Swiffer was trying to be more of that protection role, I guess, but couldn't get enough. Let's do the replay, though. We do have, back at the start of the game, it was quite a long one. I believe this is first blood, Rusty.
Yeah, this is very early in the game. This is a numbers advantage game from Chiefs. This is where they started to get a ball rolling, of course. Not crazy amounts of ahead, but ahead enough. So we'll roll this one out. Swiper goes in, and they actually go straight for Moss here first, because Raider gets a reset from this. Swiper's actually the one exhausted, which does not matter. They get that reset. Now, Sejuani, keep in mind, coming down on the minimap, is about to show up above you, and this is where a perfect ultimate comes in. But somehow, the Chiefs actually turn that one around, and things just look up there from the Chiefs. I don't even honestly know how from this moment, where that Sejuani ultimate connects, the Chiefs managed to just win. Warlock's got his ultimate running. He goes down from a jump auto attack. He was that close to living. 007 flashes back in, actually gets a double kill, and was that close to getting a quadra kill. Honestly deserved the quadra kill from the ultimate that he had. 007, a super patient man, and Raider actually, you have to say he deserved to live this one also. Jumps out of that and then flashes into a wall.
Yep, awkward.
You know, it happens.
It certainly
happens
does.
to the best of us.
It does. And I mean, well fought from the Chiefs. You can see the early game damage from Tristana making those early trades, and skirmish is quite good. But G4 was down there. Swiffer couldn't make it. Sort of got cut off by the Diana. And a very back and forth moment. But once again, the Bangkok Titans always there when they're collapsing.
Exactly. They're always there. The Diana has control of the lane because Diana actually possesses damage, whereas Lulu's usually stuck trying to wave clear and rotate a little bit later. So during the laning phase, G4, particularly from the Bangkok Titans side, having that teleport advantage also, being able to work around the map pretty much anywhere that he would like, just influenced everything. And irrespective, basically, of the fact that Chiefs got themselves a kill lead, started to snowball the game from there, Bangkok Titans, they kept up in farm. The gold was even with a turret advantage for the Chiefs, and that was just exactly what they were looking for because they can scale with items.
Yep, certainly are. But game got even more chaotic. We have another replay now, and things are starting to heat up. We've actually fast-forwarded quite a bit in time here. Now 30 minutes in, and these team fights were brutal and bloody.
Oh, they were completely insane. There is kills left, right, and center. Roll this one through. 007, he is caught out of position, only hitting Raider with that ultimate and getting very low. Raider actually flashes to secure that one. This is just where Raider goes ham. He just destroys everyone, just jumps in again and again. G4 doesn't go on the right targets when he goes back in, and it's really unfortunate for him, but Warlock also taking pressure on the side. This is where they try turn this fight back around, but Swiper is the point of focus, and immediately Ejim hits this fantastic pulverized combo, and Raider can just turn back around, auto-attack Swiffer. You have to give credit to Swiffer where it's due. He stepped up to the plate, and he was probably the sole reason, even though Raider was jumping around destroying everyone, that the Chiefs were ahead at all.
Yeah, and again, the Chiefs, they need someone to control the flow of team fights. Sometimes it's Swift on control mages. Sometimes it's Ejim on like a more supportive style champion. And sometimes it's honestly just Swiper on a big tank that they can help peel. But someone needs to help control, and it was Swift for this game.
Yeah, and look, you have to give credit to Bangkok Titans, though, for the Maokai ban, because that's what the Chiefs needed on Swiper. But he had to go to that Olaf, and Swiffer, he definitely did his job. He definitely controlled the pace of the battlefield. But you do have to question why they're not just putting him onto something that can carry. Maybe putting Swiper on the Lulu. I guess he doesn't play it.
Well, we'll have to see. I think he does, but again, it's kind of tricky distribution. Let's get to our next replay, though. Still going through. We've got quite a lot of content to rip through.
So much action.
This game was so long and so crazy.
Now, before this even begins, just keep your eye on Egypt, because he engages here, knocks them all up, and it was fantastic, but it was slightly early because the rest of his team couldn't get there in time. It's all to stop the Baron from going down. So we'll roll this one through. Ejim goes in. Fantastic combo. Knocks them all up. Keeps them around the Baron area. But of course there's no one near him. So no one's focusing him. And he had to use the ultimate just to not go down from any damage. Raider gets hooked. Has to jump away, but it gets flayed. And this fight is all Swiffers from here. Raider barely gets out and just tries his best to live. Swiper just runs at them. Lloyd goes off in these fights as well, because this is a period of time where Lloyd's damage was through the roof. And the Chiefs, they make some good fights, but every single time they make a pick, every single time it looks good for the Chiefs, Bangkok Titans, they make trades. There was never a situation where Chiefs outright destroyed them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We talk about the collapse of Bangkok Titans. They play together as a team. They're great in these big skirmishes. And they've been getting ahead, honestly, in the last few games, even though Game 2 was much closer for the early game. Bangkok Titans are always going to be good when ahead, but they're also pretty good when behind, or especially equal. The Chiefs, they're getting beaten to every rotation, it feels like.
Yeah, now the Chiefs are better when ahead, but when they're behind, they seem to struggle. So even being even with the side that has a lot of kills, such as the Bangkok Titans, who just look for kills constantly, they don't look for objectives, they will keep coming at you, and it seems to be this pressure style that actually pushes the Chiefs on the back foot.
Yep, it certainly has these last few games. We have another replay now as well. Once again, game was devolving quickly, and this honestly was the Chiefs' moment. They're up a little bit in gold. They've got initiative. They're starting to siege, but they can't quite execute this last little siege.
No, and Moss has actually put a lot of pressure down onto Raider already. He has no QSS available from an earlier hook. He's going to get engaged on in this fight, and just keep your eye on essentially his inability to do anything. Swift is stuck next to him right now also. They're trying to siege, but it almost feels like they don't need to be sieging this turret, but they've got control of the map. So roll this one out, and this is their last-ditch effort, essentially. They want to siege and get this down. G4 engages, Sejuani ultimate connects from 007, and again, no QSS available for the Tristana, so he is just straight dead. Ejim, Swiper, all that really remains of this front line of the Chiefs, they're soon to follow. G4 teleports to try and catch them out of position, and from there, you can see they start to win.
Yeah, and again, Bangkok Titans just winning these fights cleaner, getting the picks where it mattered. This game was very close towards the late game. Both teams scaled surprisingly well, given the sort of quirky nature of their compositions. And again, in that situation, it comes down to execution, and the Chiefs has just not been as crisp as we saw in the group stage.
Yeah, definitely not. It hasn't been as crisp, and I think one of the biggest factors that you need to consider is forced itemization on this Tristana. Raider couldn't go for a Bloodthirster, couldn't get that overshield to actually sustain through the burst of the assassin that is Diana, because he had to go for a QSS for the Sejuani, had to go for a Blade of the Ruined King for the Mundo. It was a really bad situation.
Yeah, it was. We do have our last replay now as well. Once again, a very long one. Not the last fight of the game, but kind of one of the last Baron fights here, or the last one, I think.
Yeah, yet again, another desperation fight. Bangkok Titans, they're in complete control, trying to make things happen. So we'll roll this one out. Lloyd, he is the MVP of this fight.
Oh, yeah.
The damage that he just puts out is absurd. Moss and 007, they play that frontline tank, and G4 honestly is completely mispositioned. He goes down very quickly here. And from this particular position, it is on the Chiefs to win this fight. This is their fight. Bangkok Titans, they just made one of the biggest mistakes you could ever possibly have.
Yep. And then watch this guy here and this guy here. Because this guy does the right thing, and Raider, maybe not so much.
Yeah, so they pick off the Diana, and Raider just decides he's going to go
in.
Lloyd, the crit lord himself, destroys Raider at his own game, wrecks him.
Ejim gets crit.
And because of all of this effort to actually take down the Sivir that otherwise shouldn't have happened, they don't win the fight. Swiper goes down. They almost pick up Moss from the Luden's Echo
Yep.
but not close enough. And that was Raiders' fault.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Spawn say it on the desk, just jumping in too aggressively there. And again, the Chiefs, execution, they're setting up the good moments. They know how to play around the map. But when it comes to straight 5v5, almost as expected, Bangkok Titans have had their number.
Exactly. Bangkok Titans, when it comes to execution individually in these team fights, they just seem to almost be exclusively superior.
Well, we're going to have another check-in with the hype train. The Chiefs currently 0-2 down. Bangkok Titans looking awesome. And it's done. It's off the rails. We can get it back on potentially, but the Chiefs, they're going to have to rally back 3 straight.
Look, based off these 2 games, they've lost in team fighting. They've lost in early game. There doesn't feel like there is a direct answer from the Chiefs. They're going to have to pull out something new, bring out all the stops here for this hype train, or it is going to crash.
It is. It's off the rails now. Got to be careful, but credit to Bangkok Titans where it's due. They've been playing amazingly. 2 very different games, 2 very convincing wins for the side as well.
Yeah, definitely. Feels like they went home last night. They spoke to their coaches, and they're back reinvigorated, and they've almost got the Chiefs' number.
Certainly are. They've got championship point now on the line, so let's throw it back to the caster desk for game number 3.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time, and my